Oh, my daughter invited 300 friends in my campaign. I guess you didn't have to go golf or count.
We won't know.
I didn't find out.
Get rid of it.
It wasn't important. You're true.
I didn't want to come across like that. Makes me wonder how many's ever gave me that death look. Wow. I've never seen that. Yeah.
Well, you know, everyone was very impressed with your help. Bill John was there. Bill John, what did you think of Trey?
Good evening, and I'll call this meeting to order this Monday, November 22nd at 6:02 p.m. At this time, I'd ask Councilman Bill John Baker if he would deliver the invocation for us.
Our gracious Heavenly Father, let us thank you for this evening that we can come together and do your work. Let us be thankful that Thanksgiving is upon us and all the things that, the blessings that each and every one of us have been given and for the tribe. And keep in mind our soldiers overseas and their families here at home and just give a special blessing and we're thankful of them and just let them know that they're away from their families but we're thinking of them. Forgive us of our many sins and bless this meeting and give everybody traveling grace as they go home tonight. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Mr. Baker. Next order of business is a roll call. Ms. Britton. Bill England.
Here.
Bill John Baker.
Here.
Jack Baker.
Here.
Harley Buzzard.
Here.
Juliet Coates.
Here.
Bradley Cobb.
Oh, honey.
Joe Crittenden.
Here.
Jody Fishinghawk.
Here.
Meredith Braley. Here. Janelle Fulbright.
Here.
Don Garvin. Chuck Hopkins Jr.
Here.
China Glory Jordan.
Present.
Curtis Snell. Chris Stubbs.
Here.
David Thornton.
Present.
Karen Callan Watt.
Ani.
We have a quorum. Next order of business is approval of the October 11th regular session minutes. Are there any additions or corrections?
Move for approval.
Second.
Moved in second. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next, we have the State of the Nation, Principal Chief Chad Smith.
so they can't say they didn't get it on email 5 times. Oh, yeah.
Good evening. It's my honor and opportunity to visit with you for the State of the Nation, November of 2010. And if you've noticed, I handed each of the council a list of parades that are coming up in December. And Speaker, it was not the naughty and nice list. Let's begin by recognizing our Cherokee friends and family members who have passed on this past month. We have several people to hold in remembrance tonight. David Blackbird Sr., Paula Locust Christie, Clayton Amos, 97 of Fort Smith. He was a cousin of Don Garvin and Janelle Fulbright. Crystal Don Dill Dallas, Carlton Elms, Leo Edward Taylor, Jackie Barnett, sister to Phyllis Chafin, who works in Government Resources, and Garrett Drapeau, and he was a young man who just graduated from Sequoia 2 years ago and passed of leukemia just a month or so ago. And Roberta Grayson, Deputy Chief Joe Grayson's sister, and that's why he's not in attendance tonight. Are there others that you would like to acknowledge at this time, Council? Okay. Boots Young, yes, sir. Well, actually, he finished the concrete that leads to our entrance here, and I visited with him during the summer.
What was so neat about that is the concrete company sent concrete trucks to lead the procession to the cemetery.
Oh, that's great.
And they used his old work truck to haul them there.
Really.
It was something different.
Calvin Fixon used to work at CNI, and he's Barbara Worley's brother. Nelson Soap passed away this weekend, and Katie Ross, that worked at the landfill, passed away.
Thank you. Anyone else? Yes, sir.
Bob Brennan, he was a sports writer from Muskogee Phoenix, a coach and teacher there in Muskogee.
Thank you. There's none others that we'd like to acknowledge at this time. Let's take a moment of silence. Before we honor this month's veterans, I'd like to thank our Veterans Office for their work on this year's Veterans Day celebrations and the parade. It was our great honor to be at those events. It gave us an opportunity to stop and pause and to understand and try to recollect and remember the things that our veterans have done for us. It was a beautiful day for both our honoring at our Veterans Memorial and at the parade itself. We'll be getting our kickoff for the Veterans Center soon. And at our tarot banquet in Catoosa just weeks ago, there was a charge and a challenge for each of our tarot vendors to contribute. And it was really quite inspirational to see our tarot vendors start contributing time, effort, money to make sure the Veterans Center got finished. And it was our opportunity, just Veterans Day, to remember. Who would like to acknowledge first this evening is Joe Dale Harless. He cannot be here tonight. His mom, Wanda, will be here, Harless, and she's in, and Sandy Long and George are with us. Joe is the son of Wanda and Lloyd Harless. He was born and raised in Cherokee County, graduated from Tahlequah High School and Oklahoma State University, Okmulgee, enlisting in the Army shortly after graduation. He was stationed in Washington, D.C., where he was part of the Honor Guard at Arlington Cemetery. After several years in the Army, Joe attended Gunsmith School in Colorado and graduated with high honors. The Army recruited him to join again, this time as gunsmith. He has been stationed in Fort Benning, Georgia for 18 years, traveling with the shooting team to several countries. Last March, Joe was deployed to Afghanistan for 4 months. He flew the Cherokee Nation flag over Camp Alamo in several Afghani provinces. Joe also made a wooden sign that read, Tahlequah, Oklahoma, 7,464 miles, capital of the Cherokee Nation. Joe is married to Dawn, and they have 2 children, Jesse and Jamie. We'd ask Sandy to come forward and allow us to acknowledge your brother and son. As Joe Grayson would say here, this medal is not given, it's earned by your son. We, as a proud nation, are grateful for his service. Perhaps you can do us the honors when he comes home.
Okay, thank you.
Would you care to say a word?
Just thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
We also recognize Dewey Alberti. Dewey attended Sequoia Orphan Training School for 7 years during the 1930s. He enlisted in the Navy in 1942 during the height of World War II and served aboard an aircraft carrier in the Pacific. He also served with Scouting Squadron 69 in Hawaii. His duties were servicing and repair of bomber and fighter planes. After serving in the Pacific area, he returned to serve as a year at the Naval Air Station in Florida. Dewey was honorably discharged from the Navy in 1945. With the oncoming of the Korean War, Dewey was recalled to active service by the Navy in 1950. He served aboard the aircraft carrier USS Philippine Sea, a ship that received a commendation from the Navy Secretary for meritorious service during the operations against aggressive enemy forces in Korea. He was honorably discharged from the Navy a second time in February of 1952. Dewey graduated from the University of Oklahoma in 1954 and then worked as an aircraft mechanic with American Airlines more than 30 years. Now retired, he lives in Broken Arrow with his wife, Sue, and serves as a deacon at Suncrest Baptist Church. Would you come forward and allow us to acknowledge your service, sir? Would you like to put this pin on you?
Yeah.
If we step over here.
Yeah. Hey, you mind? Kind of, yeah.
We would ask for you to help us pin this on your husband. Let me open it up for you. It's sort of hard to do, so if you'll help me here. So, sir, on behalf of a grateful nation, we want to acknowledge your service. And this is an honor that's not given, it is earned, and we as a Cherokee Nation are very thankful for your service. Would you care to say a word, sir?
Well, it's a beautiful medal, and I appreciate it, and I appreciate the fact that you people are giving ongoing recognition to veterans. Keep it up.
Thank you, sir. Also, we would like to acknowledge James L. Powell, who was born in Tahlequah in 1927, growing up in the community of Scraper, where he relocated with his family to California in 1941. Jim comes from a family tradition of military service, including his father, brothers, son, and several nephews. In 1945, during his senior year in high school, Jim enlisted in the Navy. His first post was aboard a minesweeper in the Formosa Straits in the Pacific Ocean. Jim later became a radio operator for a ship that delivered supplies through the South Pacific, China, and Japan. During his time on board ship, Whitestad was involved in the atomic bomb testing program on the island of Bikini in the Pacific Ocean. Jim was honorably discharged from the Navy in November 1947. He returned to Cherokee County in 1949 and married the love of his life, Sue Ann Justice. He retired as general manager of the Tahlequah Public Works Authority in December of 1990 after 41 years of service. A tireless volunteer, Jim has also been a member of the Tahlequah Fire Department, volunteer fire department for 20 years and served as commander of the VFW Post 3707. He and Sue Ann have 2 children, Jimmy Ann and John. Please, let's recognize him. Jim. Would you care to say a word?
Oh, I do. I think this is a wonderful thing that we do for veterans of all ages, not just us old guys. And to be recognized by all the peers is a great honor. And I want to thank each and everyone involved so very much. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
In programs and service updates, Cherokee Nation's Angel Tree program will kick off tomorrow at 4 p.m. right here in the lobby of the complex. This program helps more than 1,500 children whose families need help this Christmas. Please come and pick out an angel or two to help brighten a child's holiday. And we are beginning the commercial days of Thanksgiving and Black Friday and Internet Monday, and then the whole shipping and shopping craze for the next 3 or 4 weeks. But the Angel Tree is one of those opportunities. It's just not giving money, but taking the time and effort to show that we care about these children. And so when we go and grab one of those notices off the tree, we let the child know that not only are we contributing money, but we're contributing because we care, we're putting our time and energy and effort in expressing that holiday spirit. So as most will acknowledge and recognize very quickly, the gift is to us when we take an Angel Tree child. It's not as much to the child itself. The Kenwood Community Building Self-Help Project is just about to finish. There in Kenwood, we completely renovated the building, tore the roof off the top, put new trusses up, new decking, metal, put new windows, a new interior. And I wish Curtis was here tonight because we have the story to tell, because he was operating the crane and I was on the other end of the headache ball taking trusses off. He was very kind not to knock me off the top of the building. But we still could use volunteers to finish up this project and several others like it that are going on in places like Line Switch, Vian, Rocky Mountain, and Brent. You can contact the Community Services Group if you can come out and volunteer. It's rewarding work. It's fun work. You get to see something done at the end of the day, and you know you've made a contribution to the Cherokee Nation and that community. The removal bike ride is taking applications now for next year's ride. You can contact our leadership group if you're interested. Todd Enlow is here. You can contact him. This will be the 3rd year. It's a great exercise for young people, not only to learn our history very graphically, but to develop the leadership skills that they'll need for the next several decades. And in fact, our Miss Cherokee from Rogers County, Claremore, was one of those last year and was a great example of our youth. We recently dedicated our new College Resource Center here in the Tribal Complex. This is a comprehensive program designed to help Cherokee students accomplish their higher education goals. We also have received notice from the Bureau of Indian Affairs that a piece of property at the corner down here at the juncture of 82 and 62 has been taken in trust. And the plan and design for a number of years, is once that is taken in trust, is to move our gaming operations here in Tahlequah to that corner because it's a much more attractive commercial corner. David Stewart will be visiting with us about that. But what it does, and has been part of our plan, is when we move that gaming operation down to the corner, is in the vacated gaming building, we can convert that to our immersion school, to reinvest in our language and our intelligence. So we're looking forward to that redesign, the movement, and the construction of a new facility. And that'll complete the zoning for the entire property west of here, because it's all zoned educational. We've also received our 9th Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting by the federal government. And I don't see Callie Ketcher here. Callie, would you stand and let us recognize you? We're only one of several governments in the entire state that has qualified for this award, and to receive it 9 years in award talks about the integrity and the soundness of our financial controls. Congratulations to our employees in the finance group for achieving this milestone. Earlier this year, we recognized a number of Cherokee Nation employees for excellence in representing various Cherokee attributes. There are 10 attributes we've identified that embody Cherokee tradition and traits and leadership. We seek to recognize employees who consistently display these qualities. Some of them are with us tonight. And if you would stand, please stand and be recognized when I call your name. The Employee of the Year is Chris Holmes, an immersion school teacher at the immersion class. The attribute winner for Respectful, Nathan Workman from the Mankiller Health Center. The attribute winner for the Cherokee Way of Life, our own Charlie Soap. Attribute winner for Creative is Lisa Evans with the Child Development Center. The attribute winner for Integrity is Claude Nobel Seuss from the John Ketcher Youth Shelter. Attribute winner for being communicative is Joel Bean from Real Estate Services. The attribute winner for Cooperative is Kevin Daughtery at Geo Data Center. Attribute winner for Responsibility, Joe Locus of Human Services. The attribute for Commitment is Christine Otten Anderson from the Gadoogie Clinic, and she cannot be here, but let's go ahead and acknowledge her. The attribute winner for Leadership is Brandy Marquez from the Will Rogers Health Center. Is Brandy here? And the last is the attribute winner for Self-Confidence, and that's Chandra Scott from the Three Rivers Health Center. Are you here, Chandra? Now, these attributes were decided by recommendation of their peers, so people who worked with them day in and day out acknowledge these attributes of each of these staff, and we certainly appreciate their exhibit of these attributes. And final of notices, we had the Tulsa Run some 3 weeks ago, and I am finally being able to walk again. I was happy to complete an hour and 26 with Ross Swimmer and J.T. Petherick. We had over 800 people to sign up for the run, and you could see the Cherokee Challenge shirts throughout the run. It was a beautiful day. It started cool, but it really reinforced how critical our decision-making has to be for better lifestyles. With diabetes, heart disease, obesity, we have to eat better, exercise, or the epidemic will continue to thrive. We invite everybody to join us at 5:30 on November 30th at the Cherokee Capitol Square for a special holiday lights on ceremony. We will move then to Seminary Hall on the campus of NSU at 6 p.m. There will be music and hot cocoa and cider. It's a beautiful time to light the Capitol building and the female seminary. The National Youth Choir will hold several free holiday concerts around the area on December 3rd and 4th. The choir will perform at the Van Treese Performing Arts Center in Tulsa at the Tulsa Community College. And then on December 7th, they will be in concert in Wagner And on December 13th, they will perform in Kansas, Oklahoma. And they will also have a concert here in Tahlequah on December 16th at the Public Library at 5:30. At the Van Treese Performing Arts Center, they'll be with the Tulsa Orchestra. And if you need a kickstart to get into the Christmas spirit, go listen to our youth choir when they sing gospel and Christmas music. It'll bring you that blessing that you always look for. Invite everyone in our communities to come out for Christmas parades. We gave the council the completed list. Please come and join us and take a ride on the Cherokee Nation float. There's 15 parades scheduled throughout the Cherokee Nation, including Vian, Pryor, Veneta, Nowata, Muskogee, Claremore, Disney, Stillwell, Tahlequah, Webbers Falls, Gore, Owasso, Collinsville, Salisaw, and Muldrow. And hope to see you there and wish you a happy holiday season. In closing, we have a great opportunity in the next few weeks to pause and to reflect and to enjoy our blessings and to put in perspective our lives. Rascal Flatts, the country music pop group, has a song titled What is Important, and the hook line in it is what is important and what is not. And we have noticed in the hurry and the bustle of our lives that sometimes we overlook what is important and what is not. Garrett Drapeau, which I went to see a few weeks ago, passed. Bright young man at the age of 19, has full life in front of us. And around these holidays, his spirit will be missed, and his family will be in grief. And so will the families of Hastings Shade and Wilma Mankler and all those that we have acknowledged over the last few months. So it gives us a chance to stop and pause and recount what is important and what is not. And my favorite Christmas song is God Rest You Merry Gentlemen, because it says, let nothing you dismay, and may we bring you tidings of goodwill. Thank you very much, Madam Speaker.
I thought we were going to get out of here early.
No, ma'am, he gracefully gave me the podium. That's a given. That won't happen. But I think you will agree that all the things we shared today were important things, our veterans, our Christmas programs. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next order of business, take action on unfinished business. Being none pending, we move on to committee reports, and the first report is Housing Authority, Mr. Sutherland.
Good evening.
David.
Good to be here this evening. I'll have a brief report for you, Madam Speaker. The Housing Authority Board meeting, the next meeting is December the 21st, that will begin at noon at the Aline Hogner Conference Room. The board did meet last Tuesday in its November regular meeting. At that meeting, the board approved 2 new policy limits on our Community Shield program. I've been mentioning it for the last couple of months. We now have, or will have, a $110,000 and $130,000 policies. They'll go along with our $80,000 policy we have in place now. The amount of coverage will be based on the square footage of the home. Square footages of less than 1,400 square foot will be on the $80,000 policy. From 1,400 to 1,700 will be on the 110, and from 1,700 to 2,000 will be on the 130. Those annual premiums for the 110 will be $542, and 130 is $614. And as always, they'll be able to make monthly payments to the housing to pay for those. These are basic coverages, just like the $80,000 policy, and we'll begin processing those on December 1st. So we'll start immediately with those. Glad to get those in place because there's been some issues over the years about the last few years underinsuring homes, and we don't want to do that, and this will allow us to put something in place to get all those up to 2,000 square feet. I attended Ameren's annual convention a few weeks ago. At the convention, the membership elected a new board chairman who will serve for, I believe, a 3-year term. His name is Phil Bush. He's the executive director of the Modoc Lassen Indian Housing Authority. They're located in California. He's been with Indian Housing for many years, served on several of the negotiating rulemaking committees, and he'll do a good job. Phil's a good guy. I hope everyone has a safe and happy holiday, and with that, that's my report for the evening.
Any questions or comments for Mr. Sutherland? Thanks very much.
Thank you.
And Mr. Stewart with Cherokee Nation Business.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Be reporting financial results for August. We're seeing year-to-date and actual monthly numbers to be fairly consistent with prior year and year-to-date, so it tells us that the economy is somewhat stabilized, and we think that trend is going to continue. At the gaming operation at Hard Rock, the staff is learning to accommodate all of the influx of people attending the joint. It's been very successful, and they've just done a great job of taking care of all the people that show up any one night. So that's been a huge success. The West Siloam Hotel is now at about 90% occupancy. That was one of our initiatives that we pushed once we opened, and so that is going very well. At all of our subsidiaries, C&I has turned the corner, and they're all profitable, so we're encouraged about that. We concluded and finalized the acquisition of Mobility Plus, which enters us into the healthcare industry. That's one of our primary strategic goals, is to get into healthcare, mainly because we have the expertise and we have the experience. So we'll kick that off. We have integrating it into all of our shared services and so on. We have one initiative that I'd like to talk about in closing. We have the initiative from the chief and the board of directors to create career paths for our Cherokee people. And one of the programs that we put into place is in the IT area. And Steve Bilby is here. Where are you, Steve? Would you come on up? Steve is Cherokee, and he is the CEO of our IT-related companies. So he's heading up that industry. And one of the initiatives is to train and create a career path in IT training that can help all the way from early stages all the way through mature adults. And so I'm going to turn it over to him. We're kicking off a program that we're proud of. So, Steve, you want to...
Over the last several months, we've been working with Cisco, the Cherokee Nation, through Todd Enlow and Sequoia High School, and we're kicking off a program. It's going to start after the students get back from Christmas break in January. It's Cisco's Network Academy, and basically what this does, it's a very unique program, but it's Cisco's curriculum that they have used for several years in other parts of the world and the country, but it allows our students at Sequoia to become Cisco certified. Cisco is the world's leader in technology, primarily networking components, so it allows our students there to become certified. Now, the unique part of this program is the certification that they get is used in our businesses today. So it's not just a smaller version of a program that Cisco's using. It's an actual real-life program that gives them accreditation and certification for the real world. These are high-paying jobs after you're Cisco trained, so we're very excited about that program. Again, we've worked with Todd and crew. The instructor, Mr. Workman, I believe is his name, will be trained throughout the month of December, and then the students will start the beginning of January. So very excited about that. Hope that over the next 5 or 6 years, as these students continue to be certified and continue to grow in that program, that it'll be the beginning of us in the businesses hiring students that we've trained some years prior in Sequoia High School. So very excited about that. Are there any questions about the program?
No. Thank you, though.
Thanks, Steve. I mean, it takes a lot of time and effort. The integration with the Cherokee Nation and our businesses is alive and well. We're having group meetings in all the different areas, so this is one that we've just had a lot of success with. So that would conclude my report. If there's any questions about our companies.
Questions for Mr. Stewart? Yes, Ms. Fishinghawk.
Stuart, I never did hear back from you on the West Siloam Springs manager. I sent you 2 or 3 emails asking.
I thought I answered, but he is not Cherokee. He's been with us about 6 months, and we have people under him that are training that are Cherokee, but he is not. So far, he's done an excellent job and brings a lot of experience to us. And I think if you'll go out to West Siloam, you'll get that customer service feel and everything is going well. So.
And I got another question. When people apply for you and they bring in their CDIBs, do you all check them against registration?
I believe they have to have a blue card.
Okay, do you check the blue cards against
Yes.
registration?
Yes, we do.
Okay. Any jobs on the horizon for Adair or Delaware County?
Well, actually, we're gearing up for the laundry, to do our own laundry. So that's, I believe, in J. And that's kind of the next in the 14-county business that we're looking at. We're also, with Mobility Plus, we're looking at underserved areas, where there are not those kind of services provided, looking for ways to do that. But we're just getting started with that company, so I really can't commit to that. But we're
Okay. Mobility Plus, that's the durable DME.
Yes.
So y'all, okay, David, I do have a question about that. It crossed my mind. We're going into the DME business, and I know that's an area we have several tarot vendors.
I think we have 1 tarot vendor, maybe 2. Our primary focus right now is going to be to service our existing customers and also go to the underserved areas, and then thirdly, to go to the federal government. There's a huge opportunity with the federal government, so it's not necessarily we're going into all of our areas and just trying to take over the marketplace. So I think our strategy is consistent with good competition. These companies have been operating together in the same town for some time, so that would be our strategy.
Last but not least, Cherokee employment. I was looking at your report and it said we had 47% Cherokee citizens.
Right.
And our new hires, we're hiring on at 42%. And then the people leaving were 53% Cherokee. If we're at 47, we're hiring on at 42, and the people that are leaving are 53%, simple math tells me that 47 is going to go even further down.
Well, it might edge down, but I can tell you that our policy and procedure is to hire Cherokee first. We make that a point. We look for the candidates, and they apply, and we take the best candidate. And so those percentages are going to fluctuate, especially as we grow. I know that our percentage went down as a result of the ITX acquisition with most of our employees in Colorado. So we saw, just an overall decrease in percentage in overall Cherokee employment because of that. But, it's just going to fluctuate depending upon the candidates. And I'd have to look into it deeper to figure out exactly why those dynamics are there. But we have great plans. We're trying to be the employer of choice, and people leave for different reasons. If it's systemic, we'll check into it, but I don't see anything at this point.
Okay. The numbers I give you wasn't for CNB, they were for CNE.
Oh, for CNE?
Yeah, they're in
Okay.
our report that they give to us.
Okay. I'll check into that a little deeper.
I'd appreciate it. Thank you.
Lori Jordan?
Yes, David, can you give me a good, solid date when I will get the itemized budgets from each entity?
You haven't.
I was formed back in
Okay.
August.
I apologize.
And-
I thought that was already done, so I will crack the whip.
How
and get that
about a date, a drop-dead date?
I'll have it by the end of the week. I'll have it by Friday. Yes.
Thank you.
And I apologize.
Dr. Cobb?
David, I know several of us tell you personally, but every month I just want to tell you publicly so it's on record. Great things out of Ramona. I mean, I tell you this every month, but I'm kind of a captive audience for 20 or 30 minutes when I see my patients, and whether I want to hear it or not, I'm going to hear it. And
Good.
A lot of the conversations about the casino at Ramona, and it's just overwhelmingly positive, and it usually centers around customer service. That's why people like to go there. It is just
Okay.
customer service. So.
I'll continue to relay that. Chris Province is Cherokee, and he manages that property, and he's doing a great job. We're right in the middle of the design for the bigger facility, so based on the results, I think we're going to try to add some amenities to that property. So we're looking forward to that.
Any other questions or comments? I just had another person in Mays County who received a promotion, and all three of these people I've told you about, they all worked for me formerly.
Apologize.
But they're real excited about what's going on.
Okay.
Any other questions, comments?
All
Thank
right,
you,
have a
Dave.
good holiday.
There be no old business pending. We move on to new business. Items 1 and 2. Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Sullivan.
Madam Speaker, I would like to request that we amend the agenda to include a resolution authorizing several local Boys and Girls Clubs to accept funding on behalf of the community from the Department of Justice. Put that in form of motion.
Second. Moved in second. Any discussion on amending the agenda? That would be item 8. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Yes, sir. Thank you. Under new business, items 1 and 2 were approved unanimously in Community Services Committee, so if there be no objection, I'd ask Mr. Buzzard to present those in toto.
Yes, I would present these in toto, and the first resolution is a resolution authorizing the Cherokee Nation tribal participants in the nationwide elder needs assessment. The second resolution is a resolution to apply for the next 3 years for grant funding cycle to continue Title VI Senior Nutrition Services for the 14 county jurisdiction boundaries. I ask for the approval on this 2 resolutions.
Have a second?
Second.
Moved in second. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign.
Thank you.
Motion, yes, sir. Motion carries on items 1 and 2 in toto. Item 3 and 4 were also approved unanimously in Rules Committee. They are nominations to the Compensation Committee. Tim Brown from Sequoyah County. He is an attorney focusing on Native American law, and Mike Kelly, a native of Muskogee County. He is an investment advisor not only for individuals but for businesses also. And Mr. Kelly is here if you'd like to say a few words before we take a vote.
Well, I think it's a real honor for me to be nominated for the position, and I appreciate your consideration.
Glad you could be here. Any questions for Mr. Kelly? Mr. Brown, his wife is expecting a baby anytime soon, so he couldn't be here this evening. So I entertain a motion. Mr. Thornton?
Madam Chair, I would like to make a motion to appoint Mr. Timothy Brown to the Cherokee Nation Election Officials Commission, Compensation Committee.
I have a motion for Mr. Kelly. Also, we're doing these in toto.
Okay.
Second. Okay. Go ahead.
I was just going to make the motion to nominate Michael Kelly to the Compensation Committee.
Moved in second. Any discussion on either candidate? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 5 is an authorization to donate environmental equipment to the Air Monitoring Support Center in Las Vegas, Nevada. Ms. Cowan-Watts.
Madam Speaker, I'll move for approval.
Second.
Moved in second. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 6 is an amendment to the licensing and motor vehicle licensing and tax code. Dr. Cobb.
Madam Speaker, the purpose of this act is to amend the Cherokee Nation Motor Vehicle Licensing Tax Code, provide for registration of vehicles that are owned by the Delaware Tribe of Indians and used for conducting official government business. Entertain a motion for approval.
Second.
By acclamation, Dr. Cobb.
Yes, ma'am.
All in favor? Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 7 is an act authorizing Mod 1 to the 2011 budget. Mr. Baker.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. This budget mod brings in grants of $2,284,000, which are from the Department of Health and Human Services of $347,000, Environmental Protection Agency $378,000, and Department of Energy over $1.5 million. It also increases the budget mod by $1,241,000, which includes $500,000 for the Veterans Center, $337,000 for contract health, and $685,000 for Hastings Hospital warehouse and physical therapy building expansion. There's also a reduction in the hospital funds of $202,000. The total increase of the budget of $3,525,000 to a budget authority of almost $584 million for the fiscal year 2011. I make a motion it be approved.
Second.
By acclamation.
By acclamation, please.
Moved in second, any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, item 8 is an authorization for certain boys and girl clubs to participate and accept funding from the Department of Justice for the mentoring program for at-risk tribal youth in Indian country. Mr. Soap?
Yes, Madam Speaker, I'd like to move for approval.
Moved in second, any discussion?
Madam Speaker?
Yes, Dr. Cobb?
I'd like a friendly amendment to add the Bartlesville Boys and Girls Club to this. One of the entities is listed at the top of this is Boys and Girls Clubs of Green Country. I was under the impression that the Bartlesville group was under that, and they are not. So I would entertain a motion to add Bartlesville to that.
They're a long-standing club, aren't they? You second it. Soap, you accept that, right?
Yes.
Any further discussion? We amended to include the Bartlesville Boys and Girls Club. So all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Any announcements? Yes, Cal Watts.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Several folks from the Cherokee Nation were represented at the National Congress of American Indians and spent a week away from home, and I just want to acknowledge the following staff members. We have Sharon Swepston, Andy Quitone, Philip Manus, Kendall McCoy, George Roach, Rob Doherty, Suzanne Drywater, Richard Allen, Lita Maupin, Phyllis Chafin, Avo 5 Killer, J.T. Petherick, Kim Carroll, Sherry Waters, and our own Councilman Don Garvin, who helped make it a successful week where it took a lot of effort and energy, but we were able to keep NCAI on track not to change the roads formula funding for Indian Reservation roads, which I think for us is approximately $12 million annually, and then also looking at the user population for Indian Health Service and several other issues, and they did an outstanding job. So it was in spirit of cooperation between the executive branch and the legislative branch. I appreciate the support that Chief Smith and his staff extended to all of us. And Councilman Garvin really did have to work, so it was outstanding. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Mr. Thornton?
Yes, I'd like to make an announcement. I hope that everyone in this room that loves rodeos as much as I do and deer remember this name. He's a Cherokee, and he's from Sequoyah County, and his name is Casey Stone. He just got back from Las Vegas, winning the National Indian Rodeo Steer Champion Wrestling and Steer Wrestling Championship. And, I'd like to see our paper do a special on this boy, because that's something that's unusual, and I think that this council really should get together and find some way to sponsor these Cherokees that make those national finals. And that's my thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Hoskin?
Yes, thank you, Madam Speaker. I wanted to extend my congratulations to your former colleague and my father, Chuck Hoskin Sr. He was elected to be Democrat floor leader for the minority in the House of Representatives. That's the second-ranking position among House Democrats. Now, I think there's only 2 House Democrats left, Madam Speaker. It may not be quite the honor you think, but seriously, it is a good honor, and I'm very proud of it. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. We'll give you a thumbs up. Mr. Baker?
Yes, Thanksgiving is upon us, and the Sequoia High School cheerleaders are in New York City right now, and they'll be in the Macy's Day Parade, and they should be on TV between 10 and 10:30. So if you're sitting there, we're getting ready for dinner or whatever, or lunch, turn your TV on and watch Sequoia cheerleaders.
Thank you. Ms. Fulbright.
Yes, I want to invite everyone to Councilman Thornton and I's community meeting November the 30th at Blue Ribbon Downs. It begins at 5:30, and we're going to have some special entertainment. We're going to be honoring all of our veterans down there, so everybody come out if you can.
What was the date?
November 30th, Tuesday,
November 30th.
5:30 p.m.
Dr. Cobb.
Irregardless of your political affiliation, I just wanted to remind everybody that today is November the 22nd, and November 22nd, 1963, we had a president assassinated in Dallas. So let's pray that we don't have those things happen again.
Thank you for that reminder, Dr. Cobb. Any other announcements? Entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. We are adjourned at